bio, all from non-GMO and heirloom seeds.
I love how easy it is, even for someone like me who definitely does not have a green thumb.
He's got to get to Fulton County, Georgia. And here we go. A Georgia Court of Appeals has disqualified the Fulton County DA, Fani Willis, from that election interference case. It's coming down right now. The case against Trump and more than a dozen others already largely stalled, as you know. The new ruling means that it will be up to the prosecuting attorney's council in the state of Georgia to find another prosecutor to decide on the case, to take it over and make a decision as to whether or not they continue with a prosecution of the incoming president.
And former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo is here. John, does this mean that this is yet another one of the cases against Trump that could go away before he's president?
It's another example, Dana, of this lawfare campaign that was waged by Democrats, boomeranging back on them and falling all around their ears. Anyone who watched this trial, remember, this is the DA who claimed that the entire Trump reelection campaign was something like an organized crime
Up the
that was
family.
intending to deprive everyone
Up the
of their
light.
civil rights to vote. But remember, we saw the dramatic testimony over the summer of how DA Fani Willis had hired her boyfriend, essentially, to be the special counsel, overpaid him, and then had him investigate and bring charges against Donald Trump. It's a complete conflict of interest. And if you take a quick look at the Georgia Appeals Court decision here, that's what it says. There's such an appearance of impropriety, an appearance of a conflict of interest that Fani Willis should not be the prosecutor. I think this spells yet another case that's going to have to either be suspended or more likely just ended and tossed out. It's hard for me to see another Georgia district attorney wanting to take up this flawed case and try to prosecute Trump on these theories that his reelection campaign was some kind of criminal organized crime enterprise.
John, a couple of things here. There are 14 others that face charges. I don't know what happens to them, but she can appeal to the state Supreme Court in Georgia. But given what the Supreme Court said in Washington about immunity, I mean, does the state Supreme Court even take her case in Georgia?
It's a good question, Bill. I think what's going to happen here, along the lines of possible appeals and so on, is it looks likely, because of that presidential immunity decision by the Supreme Court, that any kind of state prosecution of President Trump would have to be at least suspended, if not dropped. You're seeing that going on, those arguments going on right now up in New York City with the case being heard by Judge Merchan. So even if they could get past immunity, they'd still have to suspend it while President Trump was in office. But furthermore, you'd have to go back and then scrub the whole indictment, scrub everything the grand jury did, and say you've got to eliminate anything that used official actions by President Trump, any evidence that came in from White House officials, from anything the president was doing in the Oval Office. That might actually fatally handicap this prosecution and require the whole thing to be dismissed.
It's interesting, too, because she had this novel way of trying to get at him through RICO. Was that a mistake as well? In addition to her personal behavior, obviously, is what they're saying here. But in a way, it was this like novel idea, like, how can I be the one to take Trump down? That's for, like, politically, she wanted that reputation.
Yeah. Dana, you and I remember we're Justice Department alums. Yeah, I remember you when you were there and I was there and we were, there after the days of 9/11. And you can use this kind of statute, RICO, to try to go after real organized crime, drug cartels, mafia organizations. DA Fani Willis introduced, I think, a really dangerous theory, was that we could use these powerful tools that are used for terrorists and drug cartels and apply them to political campaigns, and not just any political campaign, but the campaign by the leading opposition candidate at that time, Donald Trump, the head of one of the two major parties in the country. I think ultimately the whole thing would have been tossed out because it violated the free speech rights of Donald Trump, the free speech rights of the Republican Party, and actually a lot of Americans who supported him. So I think in the end, this whole thing was going to come crashing down around Fani Willis's and the Democratic Party's ears. Anyway.
Well, it seemed complicated from the beginning. There is that case here in New York that's still out there, the 34 counts in Judge Merchan's courtroom. He made a ruling about a week ago that the conviction still stands, but the penalty will be judged at a later date. John, do you think that later date ever happens now?
I think this is Judge Merchan really still trying to go after Donald Trump. You think about it. If you look, Bill, you mentioned the presidential immunity case. There's a footnote, a really important footnote in that opinion that says states, even if they're prosecuting a president for private acts, can't use evidence from the presidency. They can't use what Donald Trump said in the Oval Office. They can't use what White House officials said. Nevertheless, Judge Merchan went ahead and held a trial and introduced that kind of evidence. He should, at the very least, order a new trial, if not force the DA to go back to it.
Okay, family, ho, ho, ho. We're talking about Trump. The breaking news earlier this evening. First of all, whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Let's smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Make sure you hit that notification bell. We are talking about DA Fani Willis, the district attorney. She was actually reelected this year. Fani Willis was reelected. And a few weeks ago, if those don't remember, in one of the longest trials in Fulton County history, a trial that basically the case lasted over 2 years. Uh, you know, Young Thug and his associates, they were all on trial for under RICO, and most, if not all, the charges they ended up getting acquitted on, except for one. I believe one person got convicted, but they weren't giving credit for time served, so they gone home. Now, Young Thug pled guilty, but he did so where he just got probation and he had to stay out of Atlanta for, I believe, 10 years. But that was Fani Willis's case. And Fani Willis basically wasted taxpayer money out in Fulton County over this. And now, because of course, I believe this personally, she was being used as a tool for the Democratic Party to make sure Donald Trump didn't run for essentially another reelection. They went ahead and they got they went ahead and got these charges there, and now they're stating she has been removed from this case. If she is disqualified, no one in a district attorney's office in Fulton County can take this case, which would essentially mean one of two things, as you heard on Fox News, courtesy of Fox News. Either the state's attorney general, and I don't know who the attorney general of Georgia is, either their office, I'm assuming, can prosecute this case, or a special prosecutor from another area, the prosecutor's office there can pick who will be the special prosecutor overseeing the election interference. And I'm pretty sure it won't be Fani Willis's man, Nathan Wade. Now, Nathan Wade essentially was Fani Willis's boyfriend. That was her lover. And if y'all remember this past March, they had a hearing about it because the attorneys for Trump and the other defendants, they found evidence that Fani Willis had been going on, taking vacations, giving monies to this man. He was actually paid, a special prosecutor. He was actually paid, I believe, near double or triple the amount, really, of the district attorney's office. He made almost $800,000 from the record I saw. And keep in mind, Trump's office, Trump hadn't even been prosecuted. He hasn't been in court in Georgia. And so you have the situation where a lot of money has been spent. There were concerns from the voters. And the other thing about Nathan Wade, he is not a criminal defense lawyer. That's another interesting case. He never practiced criminal law. He was in family law. So when you couple that and the fact that he got paid all of this money in which to institute and participate in the prosecution of President Trump, of Donald Trump, you realize something is wrong with this. Something's terrifying wrong. Something is terribly wrong with this picture. And she's been disqualified. The Court of Appeals is saying she needs to be disqualified, which means essentially this case is a waste. That's essentially what these facts mean to me. Now, I'm going to finish the video so everybody can hear what the rest of the John Yoo, he's a former Deputy Assistant General, Attorney General. Let's finish what he had.
But what Merchan is doing, which I think is still dangerous, is he's dangling these charges still, the sentencing over the head of Donald Trump and saying, well, I can't sentence you now. Maybe I won't. He still probably, he could try to get him before the inauguration, but he shouldn't. But he's going to say, I'm going to dangle that over your head for the next 4 years, and I'm going to be waiting for you when your presidency is over.
Well, you have to think he's doing the work of Alvin Bragg, right, Dana? At the moment. I mean, he works for the DA, right, John?
I don't know.
I won't say he's doing. I'm sure Bragg loves this idea because Bragg is trying to make his career out of harassing President Trump. And this is a terrible thing for not just Donald Trump, for all Americans because of the presidency. You don't want presidents to have to try to make the toughest decisions on behalf of the country and have to worry what's going to happen to me when I come out of office. Is this, two-bit judge and this DA
you have
going
to be able to have clear decision making. Indeed, John, you stick around for a moment. We have some other breaking news. Bill.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. I had to text somebody. All right. Sorry about that. What is going on? Yeah, Danielle said she didn't know I was going to do a live because I said I wasn't going to be coming back and forth. Well, I told y'all I wasn't going to be jumping on usually like I am. And no, I didn't make an announcement of it. I just decided to just jump on, which might explain why we don't have a lot of people in because I haven't been doing it with great frequency. And, you know, you all know the stuff that I've been dealing with. I don't want to keep going back and forth. So I am in the Christmas spirit too. So that's why, Danielle, I'm here. Hopefully I get a little jingle in my pocket. Not from ScrewTube. But I predicted that this was going to happen. I knew that this was going to happen. And Trump has been on a streak, everybody. Just think of this. He's got his case. He's gotten cases to overturn and thrown out like he had in Florida, the documents case and others. He has had, I know that he still has his pending, well, he's not going to be in jail because he's the incoming president, but I know he was convicted on his fraud charges out in New York, which likely will get overturned. You're talking about having an all-Republican Congress, an all-Republican Supreme Court, and one by one, people falling in line with the MAGA, with Trump. Now, I knew this about Fani Willis, that she was going to get DQ'd, and it was politically motivated. And this should all show and be a lesson to everyone, especially to our Black people, that you cannot be a tool for a political party and expect complete immunity or protection. That doesn't happen in this system because a system was never meant to protect you, number one, outside of it, certainly from protecting you in the first place and you being a part of it. Nobody should be stomping for the Democrats right now. What have they done in giving you? The same people who build you up can be the same people that bring you down. And that's a lesson that that Black people have not learned in America. Look at our Black celebrities. Look at Jay-Z. Look at Bill Cosby. Look at P. Diddy. Deshaun Watson, O.J. Simpson, Michael Jackson. I can go on. There's always a lesson to be learned with this. And Fani Willis got so bold. Now, of course, she could appeal this to the state Supreme Court, but honestly, are they going to have her waste more money? Matter of fact, let's not forget, she went out when her daughter got in trouble with the police. Her and Nathan Wade was spotted on body camera footage in a traffic stop. They went out to see her. Y'all remember this? Hold on. Yeah.
Mom, Dad, who was it? Okay.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. What?
So, apparently,
Now, the key with this, now, why is this important? She had testified that the relationship was over, but yet they're out here together. They said the affair was over with, and yet they came out here to the arrest site long after they had testified the affair was over with. Now, does this sound like somebody who does this sound like it's truthful to y'all?
apparently her license is suspended
News to me. Okay.
for something. Doesn't tell us what for or why or where. Or that's something she's going to have to call DMV and find out. Right. Probably what happened is she had a speeding ticket, some kind of traffic infraction, never went to court, didn't take care of it. Right. That's the best guess. So she's gone over to Fayette County Jail, which is right into Fayetteville Square. It's 145 Johnson Avenue. Normally, I would say a couple hours is the process. It just depends on how busy they are and like that, okay? The driving on the suspended is basically a traffic citation. She's got to have her fingerprints done and picture taken, then she can make her bond. Mom, Dad, who? What's the
Just a friend. Yeah.
Okay.
Connie, nice to meet you.
She say he's just a friend. She say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got the gavel I need. But you say I'm just a friend. Nathan should have took off after that. You got me out here in my boxers, girl, trying to come for your daughter. I'm just a friend. A friend with benefits. Yeah, but she had testified to this, so she's gonna be removed from the likely removed from the case.
Down bad, very much so, and the reason.
Sorry about that. So yeah, Fani Willis, her office wasn't available for comment because they asked, obviously after the case, they rendered the decision in the case. They went to her office to ask if she had a comment. She didn't, but she's been falling out bad from this. And yet the people of Atlanta still felt the need to reelect her. So now they're stuck with her for another 4 years unless there's obviously some type of recall or special election. But what say y'all? So I'm just going to read what the Court of Appeals had to say in regards to Judge Scott McAfee's decision. They said, the appellate court said McAfee's decision did not prevent the appearance of impropriety. See, that's something we as lawyers, it's a legal way of saying we can't be around and associated with you. We can't associate with this, whether your intentions are good or bad. It is the appearance. of impropriety. Judges have to avoid that. District attorney's offices, they have to avoid that. In some ways, defense lawyers, that's tricky because we meet with improper people all the time. We defend them. So, sorry. So they said the remedy crafted by the trial court. I'm reading directly from NBC News so y'all can see what the judge's decision said, what the Court of Appeals decision said. Danielle says recall her. Well, you might get your wish, but I doubt it because that is Atlanta. That is the Black Mecca. That is what Maynard Jackson built, and Andrew, what Maynard Jackson and Andy Young had built up. And apparently, if y'all have been to Atlanta, it is not what Maynard Jackson built. It's not the same. But they said here, the remedy crafted by the trial court to prevent an ongoing appearance of impropriety did nothing to address the appearance of impropriety that existed at times when DA Willis was exercising her broad pretrial discretion about who to prosecute and what charges to bring. While we recognize that an appearance of impropriety generally is not enough to support disqualification, this is the rare case in which disqualification is mandated, meaning it's mandatory, and no other remedy will suffice to restore public confidence in the integrity of these proceedings. Did they get it right when they said this? Do y'all think they were right by saying this? She should not have hired Nathan Wade in the first place. She wanted to have a relationship with him. You can have a relationship with anybody you want, but paying them hundreds of thousands of dollars and then choosing to prosecute which defendants you want and who would not, and yet the trial has not even begun. That's a problem. That is a problem. Make sure we hit that share and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to go back down to the lower courts, or it's going to get appealed to the Supreme Court of that state. Yeah, Roman's lawyer, Ashley Merchant, accused Willis of skirting the rules to appoint Wade, that she benefited financially from his appointment, including by accompanying him on trips. She also claimed that they were romantically involved before Wade's lucrative appointment. They acknowledged they'd been in a relationship, and it began after he was appointed special prosecutor. McAfee ordered a hearing on the allegations, which included testimony from Willis and Wade. They said that Wade would sometimes charge plane tickets for Willis to his credit card. She'd repay him with cash or by picking up other bills. Now, the judge found there was no actual conflict, and he felt that there was a lapse in judgment in an unprofessional manner of the DA. But he didn't think it was enough. So what he did was just said either Nathan Wade would have to step down if Fani Willis was going to have to prosecute this case, which is what Nathan Wade eventually did. He stepped down from the case. But now she's got to be removed too, because it is an appearance of impropriety, and the public is looking at this and has no faith in it, which would mean what? If the public has no faith, the public is who? The jury. They have no faith in this. She's fired from this case. I told everyone it was going to happen. It was politicized. She was ruined. She was just bad. She was just rude. Filing these charges, it was weaponized. It was just plain rude. Fani, she fired. So what happens is this is a Prosecutor's Attorney's Council of Georgia the executive director will find another prosecutor. Or the attorney general, I thought, of Georgia could probably step in, but that's likely not going to happen. He's tied with, the Republican governor, Brian Kemp, I think is still the governor. Yeah, he's tied with Trump. Excuse me. So what say y'all? Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We in this thing. We're not going to be too long tonight. Yeah, it is Christmas. We got a lot going on, man. I've been working like a dog these last few days. As y'all know, we also have a show coming up. I've been telling everybody, I've been blasting it. We got the Laughs Before Christmas. Our 3rd annual Laughs Before Christmas is coming up this Saturday at the Verdict. Ladies and gentlemen, it'd be good if anybody here in the Louisiana area, particularly in New Orleans, would come on out and enjoy themselves. Just do this plug-in. I'm going to share the screen here. No, you don't need to see Force Quit application. But yeah, we got Wildman Scoob as our headliner. We got Keto, you already know. Kika, you already know. Brandon Haynes, Dean of New Orleans, Terry Scott. And I got a couple of drop-ins. So it's going to be a great night of comedy. It's going to be great. So make sure y'all get your tickets. Go to G-Rich Productions and smash up. Get me some likes. Love this event and purchase a ticket. It's only $15. All right. So, yeah, man, that's a bad look with Fani Willis. Now, speaking of bad looks, Travis Hunter and his girlfriend. Travis Hunter should be in the news talking about his Heisman win. But everybody, of course, is talking about his fiance. Travis Hunter's girlfriend, who took to social media to react and supposedly clap back at her haters who were coming at her for how she had been behaving, in the presence of her boyfriend, our fiance, Travis Hunter. And Travis Hunter has also clapped back at his haters. I showed everybody how this past Sunday, what he had to say to Godfrey, because Godfrey was giving him advice. Tariq Nasheed said stuff. Umar Johnson, Shannon Sharp has been saying things about it. Now, normally, I wouldn't comment on stuff like this, but I have. Let me take that back. And all of us got to learn that, especially me, when social media was coming up, once you put something on the internet, it's there permanently. There's no erasing stuff. It's there if somebody screenshots it or whatever. It's there. And Travis Hunter's girlfriend, his fiance, went on social media to respond to the backlash. Now, I respect Travis Hunter as a player. I think he's outstanding. I think the brother's talented. I believe he's going places. But after seeing the stuff I've seen, I know you can fight and love your woman, but there's just some shit you can't tolerate. Dudes come off as a straight simp with stuff. Let me explain and hear me out why I said that. She admitted online, well, you know what? I'm gonna let her do the talking. So she went on social media, and this is another thing. Why do y'all keep going on social media airing out your business? This is an example. So she goes on social to address the rumors and address what people have been saying, and she throws him under the bus. Now, I learned when I was watching this just a little bit about Travis Hunter and his girlfriend that one time, by his own admission, I don't follow them like talking about or listen to their videos, but he sat in the car for several hours while she went out with her girls at a party. You heard that right. Not him going inside the party and partying with them. Not him coming a few hours later after they were at the party to bring her back, or he was going, he went out while she was partying. No, he stayed in a parking lot in the car waiting on her to have a good time with their friends, her friends. That came out. So here, I want to speak fair use, by the way. We're going to play this. She basically goes in and responds to the backlash and tries to come up with some excuses, but she called this man. I'm going to let you listen to what she says. Listen carefully to what she had to say. Fair use.
To be addressing all this stuff online because I'm tired emotionally and mentally of seeing people try to make me out to be a person that I am not. But what's a testimony without a test of faith? So I'm going to start from the very beginning with this my type thing. I got permission from Travis to say these things because these are previously things I didn't want online. But I'm going to tell y'all the full story just so y'all know. So Travis, when he first ever DM'd me, when we first met, I said I left him in my DM for 2 months, and people said, oh, she left him in his DM until she figured out who he was. That is not true at all. The real reason Travis sat in my DM for 2 months is because he DM'd me when he had a girlfriend, and her name was in his bio, so I instantly knew he had a partner. So I exited the message, and he sat there until he was single. I don't do home wrecking. I'm not a side piece. I don't stand for any of those things.
So wait a minute. Why would you think? I understand you want to address your haters, but why did you have to bring up the fact that Travis was in a relationship trying to holler at you and that he was cheating? Why are you're already in trouble. Why should you? Everybody's already looking at you in a negative eye. They think you're there. You damn sure is not for Travis for his looks. I'm sorry, I'm not knocking the brother, but come on. Travis is not the sexiest man in the world. Not that I look at men that way, but brother is balling. I'm just saying, brother is balling out, but he's not somebody that jumps out like he's gonna be walking down a runway. Now, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I like Travis, and even her. I mean, I wouldn't say she's a 10. I wouldn't call Leanne. Is her name? Is it Lene? What's Travis Hunter's girlfriend's name? Leanna Lene. Now I think she's Hispanic. I'm just getting Travis if you see this, and I'm sure he won't. But I'm just messing with you, dog. I'm just messing with you, dog. I'm sure I know you got a nice personality. Travis is a sweetheart. Travis seems like a good guy, and look, he overcame a lot, and I was happy. I saw him speak out and shouted out his father for helping him get where he is. I'm great. That's great to hear. But I hope that he's listening to his father. His father's got his his tongue in his ear, and giving him a talk to about females and the opposite sex, because getting married at 21 years old, and she's a little bit older, and then she's calling you a cheater online, that just doesn't sound good. And on top of that, you're going to see an influx. Let's be real. There's going to be a bunch of girls coming at Travis. You're in the NFL. You haven't played an NFL game yet. You want to get married, but you're in the NFL. You're heading there. You're the Heisman winner. Your stock is already up. And I know she knows that. But she wants to be a star too. But I'm going to let her finish. Hold on.
I support women, so I would never do that to another woman because I would never want it done to me. So I ignored him until he was single. That's the real reason he sat in my DM. Then the second thing, when I said he wasn't my type, I did not mean attractiveness. I don't have a physical type, period. No two men that I previously dated looked the same. My first one was a white cowboy. Second one was a Mexican soccer player. Then I dated a black man who's a SoundCloud rapper. And then Travis. So I have never dated the same type physically. I don't care about what people look like or what they can give me. I date people for who they are as a person, how they honor God, and how they treat the people around them. And Travis is all the above. So when I said he wasn't my type, I meant because he was younger than me. I had never dated no one younger than me. And he had cheated on his girlfriend. I don't know if your type is cheaters, but mine isn't. So no, he wasn't my type at first off of those two things. But that didn't discredit the fact that I was attracted to him. That's obviously why I gave him a chance. And then I learned he truly is a phenomenal and wonderful human being. And that's why we're together. And that's why we're still together to this day. So that's that. Okay, the next clip was at the game after they just won like their last game. People thought
throwing the man under the bus by saying that. She threw the man under the bus by saying that. I mean, y'all just listen to it. Why? That's something she could have kept for herself.
I was upset with him celebrating with cheerleaders. I don't know where that came from because he never celebrated with cheerleaders. So that I don't know where that started, but that's not what I said. But what y'all didn't see before the clip, me and him were talking. We had already interacted. I had already said congratulations. I had already kissed him over the fence that we couldn't get through. So the real reason why I was mad is because the security, and you can ask any of the family members who was actually there, they didn't want no one to storm the field. So they had 1,000 security people holding everyone back. But the people in the field were like, let the family down. Like, the family can come down. So everyone was going back and forth. I was arguing with the security guard because he wouldn't let no family through. But they let the cheerleaders on the opposing team get through the fences. So I was like, so when I finally got down to the field, that's why I told Travis, like, he had already seen it. I had already congratulated him. We had already spoke, got on the field. And then I was upset because I had just finished arguing with somebody. And then what y'all don't see after 5-second clip is right after that, I let it go. I was like, like, celebrate. We took pictures. We were with our families. And then we went to his meet and greet, had another wonderful event there. That's all that happened in that. That was literally that. Nothing. It was not deeper than anyone made it out to be. And yeah, next clip, the Adidas pop-up shop this past weekend. People are saying that I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit here? That's not what I said. First of all, I said, baby, do you want me to sit here, or do you want me to go with the family, or do you want me to come with you? Because what y'all don't know, again, off of a 7-second clip, is those weren't fans, by the way. He had already finished that part. He had finished meeting with the fans. I was there the entire time, taking pictures, talking to them, everything. The girls that were there, they were the Adidas. They worked for Adidas. So we were taking pictures for social posts. That's who those people were. I wasn't annoyed with no fans at all. I'm never annoyed with fans. So that's what that was. And then Travis was getting ready to leave. He had to be at a rehearsal for the Heisman ceremony. They had to do walkthroughs and stuff like that. So I was asking him, I was like, do you want me just to sit here? Do you want me to go back to the hotel? Like, do you want me to wait for our family? Because his family was in there shopping. Because Adidas let them go pick out stuff in the store. It was like a 4-story Adidas. So they're all doing that. I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, do I stay here? Do I come with you? Like what? And he was like, you could do what you want. Like you could sit there, you can go shop, you can come to the hotel, you can walk around. That's what he would.
Okay. Now let's look at the video. Now, of course, I will say this in fairness. When you watch the video of her sitting down, we all know what was going on earlier. She says those weren't fans. Now, I'm watching the video and I'm thinking of that he's taking pictures with these people who I assume those were fans, but even if they weren't fans, or in the literal sense, let's just call it what it is. These technically are fans because they obviously are there for him, even if this is a network event for sponsorships or so forth. Your image, your name means something. So they're going to have you take pictures and pose with people to promote their product. That's part of it. Now, I want to play the video. Y'all remember this. This is the video. Hold on. So this clip of the video. So I had to find it. Silence is golden. Right. Look at LeBron James' wife, Savannah. I look at even Jalen Hurts' wife, his new wife. You don't hear too much from her. Whenever females want to be equal or have fame, just like their husbands, watch out, men. That's what happened with Phil Hartman. His wife, his last wife, wanted to be an actress, and she was even, if you watch the Saturday Night Live, the old Saturday Night Live intros from the 90s when Phil Hartman was on there, his wife was the woman he was talking to. No, Aisha Curry. Oh no, Aisha Curry she has social media. She's all over. She said some stuff about Steph, about not him not wanting to be desirable, or I want attention and all that stuff. Yeah, she said something along the lines how she felt she didn't get enough attention. I'm paraphrasing, but I remember a couple of years ago when she said that. So y'all remember this video? Hold on. So this is the video that she was talking about. Now, this is this is the event. So we were talking about this. So y'all watch this. All right.
All right. You go walk around.
We didn't find Matt. I called him twice.
Where's that coming from?
What's that?
Oh, that's Trevor, we're going to take one as a group, and that's it. Here we go.
You know, and I think what Travis Hunter doesn't understand is, you know, even though in his mind he's following all the rules, man, I think he's in.
Nah, he's there. Now, here's the thing. Even if what she says is true, and I can hear some things that's clarifying that, why I can obviously hear in the back, he's telling her, well, you could do whatever you want to do, go back to the hotel or whatever. Just go back. She could have just gone. She could have probably just stayed at the hotel if she wanted to. Just by judging it, they don't need her. They're there for Travis. Now, of course, I get she wants to be there, or you want your girl there at an event. That's fine. But this is an event for him. This is something he's doing to promote his brand, and they're there for him, not you. Some people, yeah, you're right, Danielle, should just stay off social media with their problems. Don't take things to the internet. You're not going to find a solution there. So yeah, and I did hear her ask about some things that she was saying in this video that she alluded to were in that video. I could hear Travis saying or validating some of the things she said, like you can stay at the hotel, you can go back, walk around, do whatever you want. But you got to be there as long as he's there. If you're going to stay. If you're going to stay, stay. Don't complain.
Was saying to me, I don't know. Like I said, the things that I see people make up is truly crazy because it's not what happened. And I just think people are just finding every single little thing and trying to make it something it's not. And then bird brain individuals are just accepting what they see online. Okay, now the last thing, this actual Heisman ceremony. This is making me so mad because anyone who knows me knows I support Travis in every win, everything he does, because I truly, truly love that man. He is perfect in my eyes. So when his name was called, I instantly was going to, if you watch the video, you can see me like, but his mom didn't get up. So I was like, oh, maybe I don't get up. Maybe I just sit here with her. So I sat there and then y'all said Coach Prime had to tell me to get up. No, he didn't. He said, go get him. Go get your man. Like, and once Travis stood up, but he didn't have to do that because I was going to do that anyways. As soon as I seen Travis get up, then I thought it was appropriate to stand up, greet him, congratulate him. But then there was a camera right in front of Coach Prime. And I knew they were going to film that moment. And because of how people are online, I was like, I don't want to be in that shot. So I'm going to sit down. So I try to sit down. So I'm not in the camera while I'm crying. People are gonna be like, oh, why is she crying? Like, stuff like that. And so I got out of the camera purposefully so they can have their moment. That's all it was. No one told me to stand up. No one had to tell me to celebrate with him. I was just sitting there crying. I wanted to take it in myself too. I was super excited for him. But I wanted the moment to be about him and his family. And that's another thing. People are like, why did he sit next to her? Why was his mom? We had assigned seats. I didn't have a choice where I sat. They are obviously going to put someone and their partner together. So I had the seat right next to him because that was my assigned seats. I didn't have a choice. And then the hugging thing. Travis came and hugged me because he just went down the line. I was first in line, then his mom, then Coach Prime.
That's not even what people are tripping on. It was the fact that everybody was standing up when he won, but you. The fact that she's saying what she's saying about not wanting to be in the camera, not wanting to be in the way, that makes absolutely no sense. You want to know why? Because there are cameras everywhere. This is an ESPN. This was at ESPN. They have cameras everywhere. So they record everything. You can just stand up. If they don't want you in the shot, they're going to find a way not to keep you in the shot. That's first of all. So Prime, and I'm going to say this about Coach Prime. Prime is the best mentor Travis Hunter can have. Prime is the one. Deion Sanders has helped out a lot of brothers. He has done a lot of good in the community, a lot for people, and he can really help out the young brother Travis. I'll say that much. He can help him out, and he knows exactly about dealing with women because Prime has been divorced twice, and y'all saw what he did with his ex-wife Pilar when she came up on the field, and he let the boys were trying to get them to meet all together like a family, and Prime jetted out of there because he didn't want nothing to do with that. He didn't want nothing with that energy. Prime took off like it was the Dallas Cowboys versus the 49ers, 1995 all over again. Oh, hell no, I don't want this bitch. Get out of here, boys. But do y'all believe the young lady? Do y'all think she's telling the truth? Do y'all feel like she's being wrongfully attacked by others? We don't know the ins and outs of their relationship other than what they, of course, we're not around them all the time, other than what they put out of their mouths every day because they have a platform, they have a following much larger than mine, and people listen to you. So when you guys are coming in on the internet, here's another thing. Do not let the internet, do not let people control your relationship. And the best way you can avoid that from controlling your relationship or having input is to keep your mouth shut. There's stuff you ain't got to talk about. Don't do it. Brother Travis, Miss Lene, please just keep y'all comments to you. Just y'all can get on. I get that this part of the money that y'all will make, you make money from being on social media and so forth, but some stuff y'all ain't got to talk about. She didn't have to talk about him cheating and stuff like that. That didn't have to come out. So that tells me that she has no respect for him. She sees, someone wrote in the comments, she sees the black bag slipping away. Dude is a legitimately smooth brain, though, so there's no telling what he'll do. Is she really posting a video defending herself, but in the process exposing him for cheating on his ex? Laugh out loud. This generation, new generation, is wild. O'Shea D. Jackson said, famous rapper simped hard for Travis Hunter's girlfriend. Yeah, you gotta date and marry the man.
To me first, I didn't tell him to do that. I didn't have to tell him to do anything. He's a grown man. He can do what he wants.
Right, and that's the other thing. I agree with that.
Yeah, everyone is making this crazy.
Hey, a hard head makes a soft behind. Let him find out the hard way. But what y'all think in the chats, in the comments? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Jay-Z. I talked about this Sunday, and Jay-Z's lawyer actually gave an interview with NBC News a couple of days ago. If y'all remember, the story I told you about was when the Jay-Z accuser last Sunday, I reported the woman who hadn't been identified claimed when she was 13 she was assaulted at a party after driving 5 hours with a friend to another from Radio City Music Hall. The MTV Music Awards were being telecast, to driving 5 hours to another state by a friend who she gets assaulted by Jay-Z. This alleged. This is her story. And her father, and when she goes to a gas station, a gas attendant gives her a phone. She calls her father, who picks her up, and they drive home, and he acts like nothing happened. And it's a 13-year-old. Now, there are some accusations from people I've heard that have a ring of truth to it. others not so much, and this is one. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but her own father said he didn't remember that. She even told the story that some of the some entertainers, some rock group was there at the MTV Awards, and she got to meet them backstage and saw their tattoos when it came out. That when they looked at it, this is the girl from Full House, Cameron Burke. Her husband was a member of this group, and it came out from looking at the internet from receipts that they had. They were on tour, so they weren't even at the MTV Music Awards. Now, Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, gave an interview with NBC News. And I'm going to play a little bit of that here. So hold on.
Facts wrong, but that she says the incident happened. What do you say to that?
You know, anybody, when they make up a claim, they can just keep repeating it and getting it right. But you never get the details right. And what happened during her interview with you is that the story began to unravel.
On the night of the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000, she says Combs' limo driver took her to an after party. There she says she spoke to musician Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo. That's the Last Supper.
That's Cameron Burke's husband. Now, the attorney is correct. Once you make an accusation, and once it starts falling apart, the only thing you're going to do is keep repeating. I stand by what I said. That's what the women with Cosby did. When they got Chloe, they had gotten a few women to come out and say something against Dr. Cosby, like the lady, I think it was Chloe Goins, who said Bill Cosby assaulted her at the Playboy Mansion in 2008. Well, they had medical records that show Bill Cosby was in Massachusetts recovering from eye surgery at the time. He was not at the Playboy Mansion. Y'all do know that he and Hugh Hefner were very close, that Bill Cosby used to be the MC for the Playboy Club up in Chicago after Dick Gregory. So you don't think Hugh Hefner wouldn't have recognized Bill Cosby?
Statement to NBC News, a representative for the Maddens confirmed they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both raped her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not corroborate her story. I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, he said. The woman revealed to us that she has autism and previously suffered a head injury. In a follow-up phone interview, we asked her about the contradictions, and she said that she stands by her statements.
This woman is standing by her story. It happened over 20 years ago. Maybe her memory is hazy. Maybe her father doesn't remember that night.
No, she's doubled down on certain of these details. She says, I'm positive. She points out the tattoo. She talks about the tattoo in vivid detail. Turns out that's completely false. And the father is supposed to be picking her up. 10-hour drive round trip to pick her up in the middle of the night. Has no memory of that. No one has come forward about this in nearly a quarter of a century, and that's because this never happened.
Spiro said he's not only seeking justice for Jay-Z, he says that he also wants to expose the accuser's attorney, Tony Busby.
He takes away the voices from real victims, and he causes real harm. If this lawyer has any sense, he's going to dismiss this claim. I don't know whether he has any sense.
Busby, who has filed more than 20 lawsuits against Combs, told NBC News that he is continuing to vet the accuser's claims and that she has agreed to undergo a polygraph this week. A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
Since your attorneys refiled the lawsuit against Combs naming Jay-Z, he has come out with a very long statement saying that this is completely not true and that this is all about trying to get money from him. What do you say about that?
I haven't asked for a dime from him. It's not, everything is motivated by money.
You're asking now. If you get an attorney to file a lawsuit, not a criminal complaint, you're asking for money. Yes, you are. If you file a lawsuit in court, ladies and gentlemen, you're asking the court to award you damages. They're not going to have, what they're going to do? Have Jay-Z unrape you? That can't happen. You're not going to the criminal. I'm not trying to be fun, rude, or anything like that. But that's the reality. Nothing else can happen. He can't, unless you want to initiate a criminal prosecution. And I talk real. This is just real talk with me. You have to get money from it. Right. Cameron Burke's husband is the member of that band, Good Charlotte. And the Madden brothers, yeah, that's him. Yeah, that sounds like a white. Yeah, she does. That sounds like one her. I don't know. They've covered her face. And I know they want to protect victims and so forth. I wholeheartedly understand that. I'm not knocking. And let me be clear. None of this is for me to knock any real victim of an assault of any kind. That is not what I'm trying to do, or rape or a victim. You guys know what I'm going to say, because YouTube messes with the words and they're going to accuse me of being a bully or saying that I'm promoting violence or hate speech. No, that is not what we are doing here. We talk real. I give real talk. And that's because I witness this stuff every day in court. I've seen crimes. I've seen people with batteries, assaults. I've seen, I've handled molestation cases. I've handled armed robberies, attempted murders. I've seen all of these things. And I know how they go. So I'm not going to say I'm desensitized to it, but I'm used to seeing it. When you sue the court, you're asking the court to award you money. Now, if you're pressing charges, you're asking, which the state presses the charges, not the person. Because she could go to the prosecutor's office, and I'm pretty sure there's no, on that type of charge, being that she's a child and with these look-back laws, they could possibly bring criminal charges against them. Although I would think after almost 25 years, it would be hard to get a prosecution like that if there's no corroborating evidence, i.e. no DNA evidence, no victims, no other witnesses, no DNA evidence on the victim, not to mention also the person who supposedly took her, the friend, from my understanding, is deceased, so she can't verify that. And then also what makes it worse for her is she goes on NBC News and gives this interview. And while she's giving this interview, she admits she's inconsistent, which any lawyer could use to tear her up on cross-examination. So she can keep that in mind. But I'll finish the video. Fair use.
And I'm sorry that he feels that it is.
This woman also told us on camera last week that this isn't about money.
Well, let's be serious. A lawyer like this is not sending out these letters not to make money. He wants money and fame. He doesn't care about truth and justice. And that's what's going on here.
Chloe Malas joins us in studio. So Chloe, explain this to me. The attorney for the plaintiffs, Tony Busby, right? He's sticking by his client, even though you've been able to report these inconsistencies and they are now out there in the public?
Yes, and because of our exclusive report here on Top Story, he's actually going to have Jane Doe do a polygraph test. He says he hasn't done it yet, but that they are going to be doing it this week. He also sent a statement to us moments ago.
Polygraph tests are not even admissible in court. They're not admissible in court. So when you say I did a polygraph test, yeah, in a court of a public opinion, it may mean something, but in the court of law, which ultimately matters, they don't even admit that in. That's not even admissible. I know that I distinctly know that. I distinctly know that that's not admissible in court. So you can say whatever you want in a polygraph. It's like the O.J. Simpson. Remember they gave O.J. a polygraph? They had a news conference. They had a lot of specials on OJ, and they had like a makeshift polygraph. I'll never forget, with his face on a TV talking to determine if he's lying or not, and they showed he was lying. They were hell bent on getting that man.
That their conduct throughout all of this has been beyond reproach and will continue to be, even though that's not what you're hearing Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's attorney, what he's saying. Also, I just want to show you, Jay-Z's team created a timeline. Obviously, they are, even though this took place allegedly 24 years ago, right? They are saying that there is just no way that he could have been at the VMAs. He's on camera there until the end of the VMAs, which ended right after 11, and that there are photographs of him at the Lotus Club in Manhattan, and they say he was there till 3 a.m., and then he went to the music studio. So again, they are adamant that
he was not at that party.
He was not at any sort of after party.
I do want to ask you this. What is Jay-Z's sort of legal team strategy in describing the relationship between Diddy and Jay-Z? Because there are a ton of photos of them over the years, obviously before these allegations came out.
And this civil suit, Tom, originally just named Combs, and then it was amended last weekend to include Jay-Z. What Alex Spiro said to me today is that although publicly Jay-Z supported Diddy, they were not best friends. They were not as close as you thought that they were. So in terms of knowledge of what went on allegedly at these white parties and what took place allegedly in these civil suits and the criminal charge and the trial, he says Jay-Z has no knowledge of any of that. Again, he publicly supported him as a fellow musician and someone where they came up together in the industry, but that they weren't as close as you thought.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us.
Yeah, Jay-Z is trying to, He was my man, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I just was there because he was coming up in the music as me. Yo, B, it's your boy. Hey, y'all know too. I just want to say this too. While this is going on, the news with Beyonce. Did y'all know that Beyonce was awarded something in, I think it was a best new her album won Best Country Award at the Billboard Music Awards. She took home her first country award. That was 2 days ago. So it's not a coincidence that, to me, that her husband is being accused of doing something to a minor, allegedly, and she gets the Billboard Music Award Best Country Album. And remember, they were upset that she came out with a country album. Those country stars, they didn't like that. There's always been racism in the country music industry. I mean, it's everywhere in the world. It's everywhere in this country, racism, but music industry in particular, country music, yeah, they have issues with black people in country music, even though Ray Charles' best-selling album was a country western album that he did. He loved country music. You know, Charlie Pride there are black people who have made it in country music. Charlie Pride is one of those. Yeah, that's old school. So, and I want to be clear, again, I want to put a disclaimer up. I am not mocking any type of victim of an assault of any kind. That is not what I'm trying to do. My point when I made that, well, he can't do this, the reason I'm saying that is because if it did happen, is because sometimes in the law in Louisiana, we are an obligation state. They may ask you in Louisiana, the goal is, can they remedy? Typically, we try to do what's the loss sustained and profit deprived. That's what damages are. But if you can do what's called specific performance. For instance, somebody was supposed to repair your home, and you have a contract and you sue them for it. Now, if you just want the money that from the damages it cost, and you got another contractor to fix it, that's fine. You can sue for that. But if you were trying to get someone to perform it and fix it, and they failed to do so, sometimes in the law, they do require, especially what's called specific performance, where if you can remedy the act by just doing that, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. So that's the point I was making. I was making a point with that. I'm not trying to make fun of a victim if she is. But obviously, if you're suing someone, you want money. Now, when it came to situations like the assassination of Dr. King and so forth, when Coretta Scott King and her family sued the United States government in Memphis, and Dr. William Pepper was the attorney in that case, the trial for them was not about money. Why? Because they wanted the truth. They wanted justice. Now, they only got awarded, I think, $100 in the wrongful death case. All of the major players in that, at least most of them were deceased, like J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover, of course, was the FBI director at the time of Dr. King's assassination. He had his hands in Dr. King's murder, as well as Malcolm X, in my opinion, and I believe he was involved in the Kennedys' assassinations in some way. He was an accessory after the fact at best for him. The other thing, too, Richard Helms, the CIA director, at the time he was deceased. Members of the Army, I think, the National Security Advisors and so forth at the time under Johnson. Well, McNamara was still alive, but they didn't sue him. But specifically, they had unnamed assailants that were in there as well. John Doe's. There was a bunch of people. It was a large conspiracy. They sued Lloyd Jowers, who was still alive, who gave that interview with Sam Donaldson. So they were about money. And yes, they asked for, obviously, for money to be awarded. Tony Busby Y'all think Tony Busby is suing for nothing? Busby's not filing no lawsuit out of charity. But I digress. I said it wasn't going to be long. I got to get back to work, guys. We're going to wrap this thing up. Grateful to come on with y'all for a little bit. Make sure you smash up the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to you, Danielle, One Who Cares and others. Hit that notification bell. Go ahead and check out Be My Baby for Christmas on iTunes, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Christmas holiday. And I will see you all in the next one. Be one, be safe, and be blessed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to roll on out. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. I will holla. Peace. Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.